All right, good morning. If I can have your attention, please, we will continue our media availability. We are joined today by Ryan Blaney, driver of the number 21 Wood Brothers Ford Fusion. From Wood Brothers Racing, we have Eddie and Len Wood, the car owners. And from the sponsor side, we have Brett Wheatley from Ford Customer Service Division. We're all here today to talk about and unveil a new look on the 21 this weekend. And Ryan, I guess we'll start with you. Obviously, you are coming off a big weekend last weekend at Pocono, and now this weekend the fun continues with you with some new colors you're sporting. Talk a little bit about Omnicraft on your car this weekend, and touch a little bit more on that win last week and how cool that was for you.
Yeah, well, it's great to always kind of bring something a little bit new to the race team, and even though Omnicraft is part of Ford and Motorcraft, it's just something completely different. Always before where Motorcraft would be strictly Ford parts. Now Omnicraft covers everything. You can get it for any make or any vehicle, so that's great. And that's just kind of widening their expansion and kind of covering all sides of it. But it's honestly just nice to be back at the racetrack after this week, after doing all the media things, and it kind of distracts you from the task at hand. That's racing and your team, and it's just nice to be here and have a new little look with the Wood Brothers car, and we can't thank Ford and Omnicraft enough for jumping on board. It should be a good weekend. It's always really exciting anytime we can come up to Michigan. It's a big deal to try to win for Ford up here, and we're going to try to make that happen.
Brett Wheatley, Executive Director for Omnicraft, Ford Customer Service Division. Ryan touched on it. This is a program that now opens the doors for people of all makes and models. Can you touch a little bit more on exactly what Omnicraft is and also what it's been like for you this last week as the sponsor on this race-winning car?
Sure, fantastic. Well, Omnicraft is a brand, as Ryan said, is for all makes of vehicles. So Motorcraft is something that we introduced, and obviously it is a brand that everybody associates with the quality OE parts for Ford and Lincoln vehicles. Omnicraft's the first brand we've introduced at Ford Motor Company in 50 years. So now whether you're in a Toyota, you're in a Honda, whatever you're driving, we've got the part for you. And they're going to be available at Ford and Lincoln dealerships, as well as our over 800 quick lanes. And very soon they'll be at all the independent garages if a customer chooses to go there. They'll know that they're getting great quality parts just like Motorcraft. And as far as last week, it was incredible. I was fortunate enough to have dinner with Ryan the Thursday before Pocono, and we were talking about Omnicraft being on the hood, and I said, Ryan, it would be really, really cool if you got that first career win when we land in Michigan at MIS. That'd be great if you can kind of make that happen. One of the things I love about Ryan is he always exceeds expectations, so he got a jump on it, and very, very special. It was an incredible race. I've been watching races for a long time, and I haven't seen a race like that, those final 10 laps, any better than what Ryan did. It was just incredible, and we're really proud of him. And it's been fantastic for Motorcraft Quick Lane and now Omnicraft brand. So very appreciative, and very appreciative also of all the support from the Wood Brothers to get win number 99. Very, very special for Ford Motor Company, too.
You touched on it just a little bit there, but it's no coincidence that you chose Michigan to unveil this brand, right?
Yeah, it's our backyard. We're going to have a lot of executives here. We're going to be hosting about 1,100 Ford employees on Sunday. So everybody wants to meet the teams, meet the drivers. So it's something very, very special to be in our backyard and have this win coming in here. It's just perfect timing.
Eddie, Len, you guys have enjoyed a lifelong relationship with Ford Motor Company. I think everybody knows the story, so it seems appropriate that when they roll out this new product that it's with you guys in the 21 car. Just talk about that relationship a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably the single most important thing to our family is the relationship we've had with Ford Motor Company. It started with our dad and our uncles in 1950, and we've never raced anything but Ford Motor Company products, and that's probably the biggest thing we're proud of in our whole organization is that. And we've been through a lot of ups and downs through the years, and Ford Motor Company always was there. And now we have the Motorcraft Quick Lane brand that's on our car week to week, and to kick off this Omnicraft paint scheme with what that means, like if you're going to get great service at Ford dealerships, at Quick Lanes. And if you don't have a Ford Motor Company vehicle, now you can take anything you got there, and they got the parts for it. So that's a really cool thing. It's a great idea.
All right, we're going to open it up now to questions. If you have a question for any of these gentlemen, please raise your hand. We got people walking around, and state your name and affiliation as well. Let's start right up here up front.
George Poley with the Macomb Daily. For Ryan, Eddie, and Len, by all accounts, the win last week was very popular with fans and in the garage, et cetera. Any of you, what was the best thing about the reaction, and what did that tell you about how people feel about the driver and the team?
I think all around, from teams to drivers to fans, it was all positive. That's pretty cool to see. I don't think I saw one negative thing on social media, which is really neat. You know, you don't ever get that, and it's really neat that everyone supports the Wood Brothers like they do, and you know, everyone wants to see them in victory lane. And you know, for me, it's just a bonus to be driving for them. But I saw a really neat video of like a phone recording from the stands, and when we did our little victory lap, and everybody was on their feet cheering, and that was really cool for me to see the support that we had in the stands and at home on TV with people watching. So, you know, it makes me feel really good to know people support us that much, and that's pretty cool to see. You don't get that much nowadays.
Bob Pockris up front.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. Ryan, what was the reaction to your you never really do a burnout, but maybe since you'd won your first Cup race, maybe people were expecting you to. What was the reaction from people? Did anybody ask you to do one?
I don't know. This year, I kind of decided I didn't really want to do one anymore. When I was younger, I used to do them and love them. They're fun to do, but I thought it was fitting not to do one in the Wood Brothers car because traditionally that's not how they used to do it. They used to just kind of go around there and wave at the fans, and I figured that's what we were going to do. And I really, probably the biggest regret of not having my radio working is I couldn't find you guys. I couldn't ask where you were and pick you up. That was the worst thing about it. But you know, I didn't really see any negative things either about not doing a burnout. Everyone thought that was pretty neat, so I thought it was fitting for the Wood Brothers team.
Any other questions? Let's go over here to Zach, and then Chris Knight.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. Ryan, was there any kind of pressure on you, like heading into Pocono or anything like that, like, why haven't I won yet, and why haven't I been able to seal the deal? Does it relieve of any kind of pressure on you to be able to bring it home?
Not much. You know, I go into every weekend the same of just trying to focus what we need to do to try to win that weekend. You know, I know we've had a chance to win a handful of races, I thought, within over the course of a year and a half or so with the Wood Brothers, and things just haven't really fallen our way. And things finally, you know, all kind of came into place for us. But I didn't feel a pressure going in. I felt a little bit of a pressure lifted after that win because, you know, we had a really rough month and a half there in our season, and it was starting to look, you know, the playoffs were starting to look pretty shaky. And I tried to look at points too much, but it was getting down to, and there was 3 or 4 guys behind us who won races, and you know, they're going to jump ahead of us, and there's a lot of really good cars that we're racing with right now that is going to be tough to string together some good races in these summer months. And that part was looking a little shaky, but it's, you know, that kind of relief of, all right, we're in the playoffs now we can kind of relax a little bit knowing that we're going to be in after Richmond, but you still, you know, you can't really go run 15th or 20th every week. You got to be running up front like we have been all year just to try to build your stock for the playoffs. But none before, but definitely after, I felt like a little bit was lifted off our shoulders.
Chris Knight.
Chris Knight, CatChance.com. Brett, I was just wondering if you could talk about the Ford products as a whole, the initiative and the sponsorship with the Wood Brothers, how it's paid off for Ford performance over the years, and for Ryan. How long did it take you to go through all the text messages, and is there any one that stood out in particular?
The sponsorship has been great. We've been tied with the Wood Brothers now since 2001, and they've just been phenomenal. We're proud to be associated with them. As Eddie said, they've only run Ford Motor Company products, so the fit is just fantastic. And we're proud to be old school. Whether it's the no burnouts or the radios aren't working, we're just really, really proud of the long-time relationship that we have, and it's been phenomenal for our brands. And what Ryan and the team have been able to do for us from a business standpoint this year, we look at the media value of what it's done for our brands, and it's upwards of $50 million right now. And what it does for our dealer body, and what it does for all those independent installers installing Motorcraft parts and our quick lines, everybody is just on an all-time high. And I wish all of you could have been in our Dearborn office Monday morning. I mean, we had flags flying, we had confetti, we had everything but some of the beverages that Ryan had on Sunday. So it was a great, great morning in Dearborn. So really, really proud.
Yeah, that wouldn't make for a good work day, would it, if you guys did that? But the text message you just said, yeah. So I didn't get back to my phone. I leave it in my bus before intros, and I called my dad first when I left the racetrack before I answered anything back. Just wanted to talk to him, and then I had about a 45-minute drive to the airport and sitting on the plane. We just sat on the plane for a while, and I was able to actually get through them all. It was a little bit under 200 of them, and I was able to get through them all before we took off. So I was pretty proud of that. I was able to sift through them all, and because I have my reds on, you don't want to leave anybody on red, so I had to respond to everybody, and no, it definitely made me feel good. But the most, I think the coolest one I got was, it wasn't a text, but Mario Andretti tweeted at me. I thought that was really cool. He said something about us and the Wood Brother team winning. That was probably the neatest one I saw online.
In a few minutes, we're going to head out to Victory Lane, where we can all get a look for the first time at this paint scheme that Ryan will drive this weekend, and also it will be on the car in Kansas in October. But before we do that, Eddie and Len, I just wanted to ask you, it dawned on me, 99th win last week. You guys have enjoyed success in the past. At Michigan, you're in the manufacturer's backyard for Motorcraft, Quick Lane, Omnicraft. Can 100 happen this weekend?
I don't know. You never know. I mean, going into Pocono, I felt like we were going to really run well, but, you never know when you're going to win a race, or if you've won your last one, you just never know. And, it'd be great to win 100 here. I think Cale Yarborough won this race, the very first race they ever held here. I think it may be a picture of it right over there right over there on the wall. So it would really be cool to do 100 here. With the, it being in Ford Motor Company's backyard, Motorcraft's backyard, it's just been an honor to win up here.
Yeah,
We have a question back there.
having Kyle Busch, having to pass him, I think Ryan did a great job of that. And then here comes Harvick, so that was two champions that he beat. So very happy.
Yep, special indeed. Let's go to the back room.
Thank you. Steve Schweitzer, the Lasco Press. Brett, when will Omnicare parts, or Omnicraft, parts be available at dealerships and at local parts stores?
We started shipping Omnicraft the first of the year, so they're in the dealerships right now. We've got a great supply. We've got all the major maintenance items right now: brake pads, rotors, starters, alternators. So we're well stocked, and by the end of the year, we're going to have coverage for 90% of all the vehicles that are on the road. No matter what your product is, we're going to have coverage for you at our dealerships and at Quick Line. So really exciting.
We got one more over here.
Coltonwood Auto Week. So with the next few days, it's going to be raining and cloudy, and then kind of on Sunday, it's kind of dissipate. What does that mean for the track conditions? Suarez talked about it earlier and said that it's going to be faster and more grip.
Yeah, well, I know tomorrow doesn't look great, but maybe today we might get a little bit of practice in, I hope, and we were able to run this. I think we ran this lower downforce package last year here, so we were able to get a little bit of an idea of what it's going to be like here. But the teams always make improvements to the cars and how they drive aero-wise from the year before, or actually even week to week. And we have a small idea, but yeah, if it rains all tomorrow and we just jump on the track Sunday. Yeah, with all that rain, it just washes all the rubber off, and it makes the track really fast, and teams might not know how their cars are going to drive. So I think most of us are going to be in race trim today starting out before we swap over to qualifying trim, just because tomorrow looks so iffy. But I was saying we got lucky the last 2 weeks at Dover and Pocono are used to the biggest rain racetracks that we go to, and we were kind of due one, I guess. You hate to say that, but hopefully Sunday looks good, and we can get it in then.
All right, gentlemen, you look good in orange.